Now, God has every right to punish sin. God says, I will have mercy upon whom I will have mercy, and whom I will harden. Of course he does, because he is the God who will give to us. If we want mercy, God will give us mercy. If we harden our hearts, God will further harden our hearts. Now let's give another illustration here. Begin in verse 19, and this is one that has caused many people to have difficulty. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who has resisted his will? If God is sovereign, we're just victims. There's nothing we can do about it. Notice verse 20, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against God? Shall the thing formed say unto him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he hath afore prepared unto glory? Nothing you do about it. Is that the kind of a God that is displayed in the Bible or in the book of Romans? Listen carefully, folks, and understand what the Apostle Paul is saying here. God did not ordain some for hell. What potter would ever make a vessel just so he could destroy it? God did not ordain some people to hell. No. Listen, the reason that some vessels were destroyed is they did not realize the purpose of the potter. Look in verse 20, if you will, of this same chapter. Shall the thing formed say unto him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? It doesn't say the thing created, but the thing formed. Here God is shaping, and some will not take the shaping. Look in verse 22. What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath? God, it was long suffering. God is forming, working, forming, but these vessels of wrath are not yielding to the hands of the potter. Put down this verse, 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promises. Some men count slackness, but is long-suffering. Same word that's used over here in Romans 9. Is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But you say, Pastor, it says here that they were fitted for destruction. Look at this verse again, and he talks about some vessels of wrath fitted to destruction in verse 22. But now listen carefully. The middle voice indicates that the vessels of wrath fitted themselves for destruction. It is not the potter who fits them for destruction. They fitted themselves for destruction. The potter was long-suffering. He did not create them, he formed them. But they were fitted, that is, they made themselves fit for destruction. God does not create people in order to damn them. God does not create people in order to destroy them. God is a God of love. Now, if you think that God wants some to go to hell, just listen to this scripture. It speaks of God who will have all men to be saved and to come unto the knowledge of the truth. Now, you can harden your heart. The Bible warns against people being hardened by the deceitfulness of sin. Put this verse down, Hebrews chapter 3, verse 15. Today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your heart. I'm telling you, if you harden your heart against God, you will crystallize in your sin, and God's judgment upon you will even harden your heart even more. But God hardened Pharaoh's heart after Pharaoh first hardened his own heart against the Lord. And God destroyed Pharaoh. Yes, he did. Because in the long suffering of God and the warnings that God sent to Pharaoh, Pharaoh would not accept those warnings. And yes, indeed, he was made an example of God.
Amen.
Amen.
Your first amen was Black States.
Well, I just realized that, but yes, you're right. Yep. So, welcome to Proverbs Guys Ministries. There are many idols in the church. Calvinism is an idol. Preterism is an idol. Uh, what is that other one that they?
Any ism is an idol.
Yeah, most of those isms that turn into doctrine that they are that it's a hill they're willing to die on. When they make all those pet doctrines as high as the doctrine of the gospel, it becomes an issue.
Especially if it is changing the true form of God and creating another image of Him, one that doesn't care for His children, one that doesn't give them free will. That is not the true Christ. That is an antichrist. So those that follow those doctrines are creating another image. It's not the true image.
Yeah, and it's really dangerous, right? To make doctrine out of well, honestly, demonic opinions. Calvinism is demonic, and it's dangerous because it teaches that salvation is just basically the luck of the draw. It has nothing to do with Jesus knocking on every door and us having a choice to open the door or not. That Calvinism robs us of that. What's up, Gigi?
Hi, how are you guys today?
All good, all good. How are you?
Good.
What have you got going on? Did you do a show today?
Yeah, earlier, I have to leave to do something, but, yeah, I did a show earlier.
Yeah, he did, and I watched it after it was live, and I love how Claude and BBM they just spent like 90% of that show talking about us. Um, I love how they love us. I mean, if people talk about you that much means that they actually love you. You know, they
Yeah,
might present it in the form of hate, but you know, deep
I
down,
love,
I gotta tell you, it ain't much mutual. But yeah, GG.
I love you guys. You guys are likable guys, especially the great Achilles.
You too, bro. Uh, uh, let me try something. I want to show my brother here, both you brothers. I want to show you a video of something that took place today. So today, yesterday, I left at 5 a.m. 4:30 a.m. until I managed to sleep. It was 5 a.m. and then at 8, a huge thunderstorm started. So I jumped off the bed and I had to do some stuff.
All
You know,
right, hold on, Achilles. This would be better with some theme music. So, all right, now tell the story.
once upon a time. I mean,
Wow,
so
this
yeah.
hits hard.
So at 8:30 or something like that, after I finished with the stuff that I had to make sure they're fine with a thunderstorm, I opened up the TV until I go to bed again, and I saw this, which I'm about to show you, and I was like, "What is going on?"
That's my question. The music goes great with your story.
Okay, so let me see what will happen. Okay, so today was Saint Andrew's Day.
Saint Andrew? Who the heck is Saint Andrew? Oh, the apostle?
The apostle.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so, but
Yeah,
I don't.
and Andrew was an apostle of Jesus, and Stephen was an apostle of John because I was named after both of them.
Oh,
To be
so
honest, I don't think it's the same. I think it's another.
Oh, another Saint Andrew.
you
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So
have a.
it's a yeah.
What if it turns out it's actually named after you, Steve?
I pray that there's no saint named after me.
Oh, I mean, day. You're the
I
Saint Andrew.
I don't want a day named after me.
Okay.
So the reason I brought this up to show it to you. Oops. There we go. Um, so, Gigi, there is some wind coming in
Oh,
from your
sorry about that.
microphone. It's okay. Just mute and unmute when you want to talk. This is not it though. This is something. I don't know what it is. I know what this is. So all the believers go there at Patra. Is the city. He is like the protector of that city because that city is not protected straight by God. It is protected by that specific saint. Um, so is he, Stephen? Are you here?
I am, in fact, here. Yes.
Okay. Was he crucified in an X pattern? Was he
Yes.
tortured?
Yes. That the Apostle Andrew was crucified on an X cross.
So this is it. Supposedly, this is wood in the glass that exists in there, and people go and kiss the wood. And on the right side, where you see all these flowers, there is underneath that, all these people go there. They're not worshiping idols, but we have to kiss the wood because the wood has some magical properties if we kiss it and we bow down to it.
What if somebody with mono kisses it first? Is it
Well,
holy mono?
I don't know what that is.
Well, you ever heard the expression holy moly? Oh, you don't know what mono is. Mono is an infection that you can pass through kissing.
Okay, the truth is that God doesn't allow that to happen. There have never been reported incidents of people getting anything from kissing anything that hundreds of people have kissed before.
That's fortunate.
Yes, we have a very mighty God, and He sees that these are believers, even if they are led astray by the shepherds. So underneath this, I want to show you what exists and tell you what is inside. Well, it is what it's at the beginning here. This is it. So, wanna try a lucky guess of what is inside here?
Is this supposed to be a dismembered body part of someone in the Bible?
Saint Andrew,
What body part? Or is this his ashes?
his head.
Well, that's convenient. So St. Andrew's head is inside. Wow. And how could you test that?
It's I love that reaction. I mean, you're trying to like, oh no, God, oh no, oh
I don't know where to start.
yeah, right. To
How
start
how
where
how do you verify that that's a 2,000-year-old head? First of all, has it been dated? That it's even from the right era? Like, is it a
um,
Jewish head? That helps to know also.
okay, supposedly it has a history. The whole body existed in Hagia Sophia, the
Yes.
holy temple in Constantinople.
Uh-huh.
And when the Turks took it, um, they didn't allow people to get in to take the body. And then 50 years later or something, they allowed the church, and then the Greek church got the head, other churches got the feet, and it's just disgusting, guys. It's
Oh,
just insane.
Stephen. I talked to Claude earlier. He said he would like to debate you.
Is he willing to debate me on creation versus evolution?
Of
No,
course not.
no, it's going to be
Only
Kent's.
one subject. He's
Yeah,
willing to debate. Yeah,
Yeah.
tell him
So
what it is, Gigi.
the subject I'm willing to debate Claude on is evolution versus creationism.
he said It's about Kent's taxes. At one time, he said he wanted to debate on the evolution of Kent's taxes.
Mm, yeah,
uh, I heard. Is this true? Kent is losing subs.
I have no
Sorry, what?
idea.
Yeah,
What?
I've been. Oh, go ahead.
I didn't hear you, Gigi. Is
I
it
heard
true that?
Kent's losing subs. I heard. I saw videos saying that.
We haven't talked about it around here, but I mean, I don't know. I can ask talk.
Okay.
Um, I don't know what I heard BBM and Claude saying that, and they were also saying that it makes sense because he bought the subs, so now they are like those fake subs are like getting disabled because he has so many thousands of subs, but I get more views on my videos and ha 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 ha. So whatever comes out of the mouth of those two is just, you know, it's very hard to say it's an accredited source. Now, I don't think they have managed to hurt the image of Ken Hovind even to his like nail. They can keep trying, but anyway. So, Stephen, you like the picture there? Couldn't you fit a baby Jesus in those arms? But no,
Well, you know
right?
what breaks my heart, man, is are these images that you're stopping on, okay? All the different bishops here with the beards and the black and the hats and the sabers, all of this going on, and the Catholics, because the Orthodox and Catholics are one and the same. They're cousins, they're first cousins. They're so close, they're kissing cousins, right? The Orthodox and the Catholics. Um,
Um, under the rag, because above the rag, the Orthodox are getting taught to hate Catholicism, like it is. They are calling it the Antichrist
but
religion.
for this point, though, you'll agree with what I mean. Their
Mhm.
clothing, their ceremonies, their traditions and rituals for services and such, those are almost identical,
Yeah, yeah,
indistinguishable.
and
Um,
chanting.
yeah, this. Look at this. This is a perfect
Oh,
example. Go
sorry.
back one. This,
Yep.
this right here. Look at this. Okay, I'll tell you what this is. This is a Western culture's idea of what the Jewish temple system looked like. This is a cheap knockoff of the Levitical temple system. These garbs are cheap knockoffs of the Levitical priest garbs, but they just look more like the priests of Baal. And beards, it's all like a Westerner's idea of what the Jewish temple system would have looked like if they had never seen it or experienced it, but only read about it, and then tried to recreate it, to replicate it. This is what you end up with. Orthodoxy and Catholicism come off from Westerners' ideas of what the Jewish temple system would have looked like.
Um, yeah, I cannot add. I can tell you now that so a believer goes in this church. He gets mesmerized by the size of the church. Um, he kisses idols and he listens to this. This is a random moment. Okay, let's see. So when they leave the church, they get this euphoria and they think it is a blessing of God. A euphoria that comes from your ears, from your nose, smelling the incense getting burned. And they say, wow, God touched me today. I was in church. No, he didn't, because you didn't understand a single comma from his word. So all these people, they have a zeal for God. They would give their lives for God, but they are being led to hell by the church. This is another idol we talked about yesterday, how you're idolizing the church and not the word. This is nothing. This has nothing to do, although it gets inspired from the
Can I share this real quick?
anything. Yeah.
Okay, I want to just share this, and you can then go back to the scene with the incense, the smoke in the air. Do you know the one I'm talking about? We were just there.
No.
So this is an example of what I was talking about. How what you see in the Orthodox Church is a cheap knockoff of what a Westerner would imagine a service or ceremony to look like in the Jewish temple system. And this is from Exodus. It's Exodus 30, and it's instructions for the Levitical priesthood on incense. And check this out. Make an acacia wood altar for burning incense.
May I
The
pause
al-
here before?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I know it is before any point, right? But there is something very interesting here.
Okay.
The plant is called akakia, and a is the negative, like not, and the rest of it is evil. So the plant is called not evil, akakia. And God is telling them to take an akakia wood to make the altar. A wood that comes from a tree that it's called no evil. I just thought this is interesting to point out as a Greek.
No, that's excellent. Okay. And then go look into the description. It gives a description of how long in inches and width it has to be. The height, decorate it with horns that are permanently attached. Cover the altar with pure gold, including its top, all of its sides, and the horns. You should also make a gold molding all around it. Make 2 gold rings to attach them under the molding on 2 opposite sides of the altar. They will house the poles used to carry the altar. Make acacia. Is that what you said? Acacia.
Akakia. Oh,
Acacia wood poles and cover them with gold. This is descriptions. Tell me this doesn't look like every Orthodox church you've ever seen, with the frames of pictures and icons covered in gold, and the incense altars covered in gold. Like, this is all just knockoffs of the Levitical priesthood. They're trying to continue what Jesus ended.
And even before Jesus, there wasn't any idols inside the tabernacle there, right?
Yeah.
But here we're full of idols. Now, although we didn't read much of the word, we did point out one little thing that we just discovered by accident, right? The akakia wood,
Yes.
right? It means no evil. We just wanted to talk about like the dimensions and all that, and we've discovered something. So I want to ask the viewers, what is more of a blessing to you? What we just discovered or this? This one was being careful. He was thinking about getting anything, he didn't kiss it.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, we do that. Oh, this guy went with a mask. We do that. We kiss things like, there are like, I might be exaggerating a little bit, but I think there are 18 hands of Saint John going around the Baptist. There are like 4 or 5 feet of another saint going around, a couple of heads of another saint. And
what do you do with that?
We just, try to ignore it. I mean, people still actually think that the holy light gets lit on its own in the church in Jerusalem. And they kind of, when you talk about it with them, they kind of give you this sense that if you convince them that they do it with a lighter, their whole faith will crumble. Like their whole faith has to do with the holy light being lit every Easter in Jerusalem. If you take that away from them, then they like lose faith.
Huh.
And you go to these people and say you should not be kissing those idols. That's just a piece of wood. It will not get you into heaven.
And they'll be upset at you. You took away their idol.
So this is one idol that we didn't address. Oh, I wanted that moment because somebody in Steven Anderson. Oh, here it is. People are kissing a head of a dead person. He was a saint, but I'll bring up the verse. I don't know where it is, but I remember it exactly. Well, I get Psalms 115, 17. Dead people can't praise God. Not a word to be heard from those buried in the ground. But I wasn't looking for that one. I was looking for the verse that says that I am the God of the living and don't worship the dead. And Orthodoxy is like, thumbs up, hold my beer. I'll just, do exactly the opposite. I'm reading here Matthew 22:31. It says here, I'm not the God of the dead, but of the living. But anyway, this was completely unscripted and unprepared. Actually, there was another layout. Okay, wait a minute. First off, let me try to find that moment. Yeah, here it is. Let me see if I go back a little bit or forward a little bit. Oh, it went all the way to the end. Thank you, Max. Remember, never press your keypad or your arrows when you want to go back and forth. It's
That's
not
good
working.
advice, children.
It's not working. So anyway, there is a black priest and a black Orthodox priest, and I just wanted to point that out because a pastor of Steven Anderson's church was saying that the Greeks are racists, and there's a lot of stuff coming out of Steven Anderson church that are not true. This is another one. Greeks are not racists, and he was also saying that for the Greek church. No, they're not, but they have other faults. Racism is not one of them, right? We have another form of racism, which is we kind of think so highly of Greece and Greek that we don't care to learn English or preach the gospel in any other language. So
So nationalism is your
yes, and
an
that is
idol for you guys too.
another idol that we talked about yesterday.
That's a big idol in Gangster Ghost's life.
So I heard.
Yep.
Did you?
Nationalism and YouTube are big idols in Gangster Ghost's life.
Why you say that?
I'm just kidding. I was saying if you were still there listening, Gangster Ghost.
Okay. How are you guys today?
Like yesterday,
Oh, that's good.
are ready to kick Satan's butt. So a couple of idols we didn't touch upon yesterday. I think we've talked a lot about politics, but it's true that we didn't focus on it yesterday at all. Not that we plan to today, but keep in mind that people get too attached to evil liars who just want their money and they turn them into saviors. But Lupin said in the comments, "Oh no, now you're gonna say that Trump is an idol." So okay, I'm not gonna do it, although he is. But you see, isn't it true, Stephen, that to Christians, in that manner, idolatry, Trump has done more damage than Biden has? Biden allowed all these laws, all these, let me not mention what it is because wink, wink, we're going to get like, a strike. You can't even talk about it because, that's freedom for you. But he didn't force Christians to become idolaters. And Trump achieved that. Well, there he is.
Ah, man. Well, Lupin, if you're going to answer, come on in here and answer. We'll give you some mic time.
Oh, but what if they say you're an idol, Achilles?
I'm trying not to be,
Okay.
even even in relationships. First off, when I go like and preach the gospel to somebody, and they dare to say that terrible thing that I only understood that because of you, I feel very bad when that happens, and I immediately turn it to show them that even if you understood it through me, it is the Spirit through me. Praise God, never praise man.
Oh,
We have to always be careful that others don't idolize even what we do for them.
Achilles. Uh,
Yeah.
did I tell you guys about this? Here's the thing. It's like completely opposite from Calvinism. It's called open theism. Have you heard of it?
Open theism, isn't that almost the same as polytheism?
Well, it's this what I heard it from this guy Bob something. He back in the day, I think he used to be a Kent supporter back in the day, but he passed away. But he put this is what he believes. He believes that God can't predict the future, and it's like it's completely open.
Oh no, that's weird. That's blasphemous. It's not the future to God. It's, something he's already watched play out multiple times. He can stop it, rewind it, intervene. It's not something that God's oblivious to and he has to watch unfold like we do. That's
Yeah,
just
he
crazy heresy.
believed that time always existed.
Time was created. In the beginning, there was the big creation of time.
It's
So
just
before a beginning,
yeah,
uh, there is no time because that is the beginning of time.
yeah, it's weird what he believes. He believes that her some guys are not as open as him. Like they do believe that God can predict the future and stuff, but it's people have complete free will and stuff. Like this guy Jesse Morrell. You ever heard of him?
No.
Oh, he's uh, a crazy guy. He's a open theist too, but not as open as the other guy. I guess
Um,
it's weird.
I'm looking up something because we brought it up, and at the same time, I was thinking of bringing up an image. But also, third thing in my head right now is to continue what we were about
Oh,
to
sorry.
talk about, which was the. And I haven't been checking the comments. I need to come back to the screen. Give me a minute. Yeah. First off, let me get rid of. There you go. Okay, I got this one at least. Let me see.
Uh,
Yeah, sorry for the silence, but I hope I reward you for it right now. I'll share the entire screen and the audio, and let me get the comment here out of the way. And
I too would like to share something, Brother Achilles, when you're done.
all right, uh,
How long is your thing?
couple of minutes, I think, has to do with isms. But go ahead, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Because, well, mine's 6 minutes and 48 seconds. If is it longer than yours, then I'll let you go first.
all right. Let's do this. Let me go with this. Share the screen.
Then there are a whole lot of modern philosophies that are accept so many different ways that we get into confusion. If you accept Genesis 1, then there are a whole lot of modern philosophies that are ruled out by the very first page of the Bible. I've just made a list of some of them. I cringe when I hear a word ending in ism. ISM. There are only two isms I'm happy with, baptism and evangelism. But apart from that, all the other isms usually are philosophies of a false kind. For example, if you believe Genesis 1, atheism is out. Atheism believes there is no God. I'm an atheist, thank God, said someone. Agnosticism. Agnosticism is ruled out. Agnosticism says, I don't know whether there's a God or not. Well, Genesis 1 says there is. So you can't believe Genesis 1 and be an agnostic. Animism, which is the belief in many spirits controlling our world, spirits of rivers, spirits of mountains. There's still a lot of animism in the world. That's ruled out. Polytheism, that's the belief that there are many gods. Genesis 1 rules that out. Dualism believes there are two gods, one good and one bad. And the good God is responsible for the good things that happen and the bad God for the bad things. Well, that's not the biblical philosophy either. Monotheism believes there is only one God, one person. Judaism believes that, Islam believes that. But Genesis rules that out by using the plural word Elohim. Deism believes that God is the creator, but he cannot now control what is created. He's made something like a watch, wound it up, and now it runs on its own laws, so miracle becomes impossible. Deism is very common even in church. Do you believe God can change the weather? If you don't believe that, you're a deist. You may believe that he created the universe, but he can't control it. Theism believes that God not only created the world, but is also in control of everything and everyone is made. And theism is one step toward the biblical philosophy. Existentialism believes experience is God. Our choices, our affirmation of ourself. That is religion. Humanism believes that man is God. Rationalism believes reason is God. Materialism believes that only matter is real. Mysticism believes that only spirit is real. Monism is a rather funny one, but it's very common today, and that is that matter and spirit are essentially one and the same thing. Pantheism believes everything is God. A modern version of it is called panentheism. God is in everything. Well, now all those are ruled out by Genesis 1. If you want an ism that sums up the Bible philosophy, it is triune theism. 3 in 1, creator and controller of the universe. That's the biblical way of thinking. It comes right out in Genesis 1, and it stays right through to the last chapter of Revelation. Well, now let's move on from these rather...
Again, I love this man. I discovered him a couple of months ago, and I'm digesting one video of his per night. So much knowledge, so much stuff, very well explained. His channel is David Paulson Official. And I don't know if this one is losing subs, Brother Gigi, but tell Claude it has a almost 200K subscribers.
Wow.
So he has a long way to go there. Maybe if he starts preaching about God and how he got saved, he'll make it to that number. Until then, Stephen, your turn, brother.
All right.
Viewers, I just wanted to let you know that we had a completely different plan for this night, but let's roll with this. See
Well,
where
there's
it's taking
another
us.
sneaky idol in the church. And again, when we talk about these idols in everybody's lives, it's just so that people can do self-reflection and self-evaluation. It's not because we're telling you to quit all your idols tomorrow. We just want you to realize that anything can be turned into an idol. And here is an example of another idol. It's Christian holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest idols in Christendom is Christmas. So let's check this out. Let's see what we're idolizing.
If you want to believe in Tinkerbell, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, or Santa Claus, you may want to change the channel. I've been on a search for the truth for more than 50 years. I am not interested in protecting erroneous traditions. More than 6 months before his crucifixion, both Jesus and his disciples were preaching the gospel of the kingdom in the synagogues throughout the Galilee. The gospel they taught had nothing to do with either his crucifixion or his resurrection. But tradition has turned a deaf ear to what Jesus both said and did, in unwarranted deference to the imaginative stories that have been made up by men. Where do we get the idea of 3 wise men following a hovering star through the desert that led them to a Bethlehem manger just in time to present gifts to the baby Jesus on the night he was born? It is not in the Bible. In fact, the entire nativity scenario that we inherited in the West is in direct contradiction to the gospel record. That tradition can only be found in the opening pages of the book Ben-Hur, a novel written by an American Civil War general, Lew Wallace. Ben-Hur was the best-selling novel in America for more than 50 years, second only to the King James Version of the Bible. So far-reaching was Wallace's novel, even the olive wood manger scenes produced by the Arabs in Bethlehem depict 3 wise men at the manger, when the Bible tells a completely different story. If you want to believe in Tinkerbell, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, or Santa Claus, you may want to change the channel. I've been on a search for the truth for more than 50 years. I am not interested in protecting erroneous traditions. What about October 31st, All Saints' Day? This was originally the day of Samhain, the god of death. Even though the scriptures strictly forbid the adoption of pagan practices and renaming them to suit a purportedly spiritual purpose, Rome Christianized this day of death by renaming Samhain All Hallows Eve, which became more commonly known as Halloween or Holyween, Holy God of Death. Now we can see how Christian this celebration has really become. It is a living illustration of why God gave such specific commandments concerning the adoption of paganism. In Deuteronomy 12:30, Moses instructed, "Take heed to yourselves, that you are not snared by following the practices of these pagan nations. Do not inquire concerning their gods, saying, 'How did these nations serve their gods?' Even so, I will do likewise. Thou shalt not do so to Jehovah thy God, for every abomination to Jehovah which he hates, they have done to honor their gods." So how about Dagon Friday, the day the Assyrian fish goddess worship? Why, I grew up eating fish every Friday in public school in Michigan. And Easter Sunday, when Semiramis, the wife of Nimrod, was proclaimed by the gods the queen of heaven and sent back to the earth on the first Sunday after the vernal equinox in a giant egg, which plummeted into the Euphrates River, broke open, and out emerged Semiramis, reincarnated as Easter, the bare-breasted sex goddess who turned a bird into an egg-laying rabbit to demonstrate her divinity. Why is it that the Roman religions mourn the death of Jesus on Dagon, the fish god, Friday, and celebrate his resurrection on Easter, the sex goddess, Sunday. Jesus was Jewish, not Babylonian. My Bible says that it was Passover when the Lamb of God was sacrificed, and Yom HaBikurim, the day the first fruits were reaped from the earth. And December 25th, the birthday of Jesus? December 25th was the winter solstice on the ancient Babylonian calendar that marked the reincarnation of Nimrod as little baby Tammuz. You remember the record in the 8th chapter of Ezekiel, women weeping for Tammuz? It was an abomination going on in the Jerusalem temple that the prophet denounced as a stench in the nostrils of the Almighty. Why is it that all the pagan sun gods were said to be born on December 25th? Why did Constantine declare this date as the day Jesus was born? The most repeated prophecy in the entirety of Scripture is the prophecy of Jesus. He said that there would be one and only one sign of his authenticity, just one sign that he was the prophet of whom Moses prophesied, one sign that he was the Messiah who would eventually sit on the throne of his father David and rule over all the earth. It would be the sign of the prophet Jonah. Just as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so Jesus prophesied that he would be in the grave 3 days and 3 nights and raised on the 3rd day. Yet we have inherited countless pagan traditions surrounding Dagon's Good Friday and Easter's Reincarnation Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, Einstein could not get 3 days and 3 nights between Dagon Friday and Easter Sunday. But because of our inherited traditions, rooted in Babylonian sun worship, we cannot even count to 3 to verify the one and only sign of the true Messiah. Either something is wrong with our paganized religious systems, or there is something desperately wrong with the Bible. Shalom, Torah fans.
Oh, wow. Isn't there a place in the 4 Gospels where Herod is asking the wise men to go and find the baby so he himself can go and bow down to the king? Like he was.
Yes. Okay, so it's the Magi. And
Right.
here's what's interesting. According to Jewish tradition, so, all right, you have the Magi. Do you remember Daniel the prophet? He was what? He was the chief Magi. Now, Daniel never married, and the Magi's were paid very handsomely. And they learned the Magi who went to go see Jesus after his star appeared, right? They learned about Jesus from the prophet Daniel. He told them what to expect for the birth and how to know when to bring it. And the gifts that the Magi brought to baby Jesus, which he was actually about 3 years old when the Magi arrived, it's rumored in tradition that those gifts were inheritance from Daniel the prophet, that he left them in possession of the Magi with the instructions of what to look for the Messiah in order to bring them, because Daniel had no children. He had no one to leave his wealth to.
So the story actually is in the Bible, but you did say it is tradition, this part, the part of the gifts.
Yes, well, in the Bible, they brought gifts. They brought 3 different gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but the tradition part is that the Magi who brought those gifts brought gifts that were from Daniel. And Daniel's the one who told the Magi it would be the star to look for in the heavens, that's when the Messiah has been born.
All right, but I will point out that the way he makes it appear is like this story is not in the Bible at all. Like it comes from Ben-Hur. And I don't remember his name, but I've seen him before and I've disagreed with him before on other stuff. So all the other things that he said about Ishtar, about how Babylon was worshipping the sun god, he didn't go in specifics. And although he looks to me like he's more knowledgeable than that, he didn't mention that it was the sun god being worshipped on the 25th of December for a very specific reason, which is that the sun stops and for 3 days it doesn't move and then it moves towards the other side. So we call it the rebirth of the sun. And my turn to share something,
All right.
because people don't want to let go of their idolatry of let's say Christmas that is coming right up. The enemy knows, and he's now all out there. He's no longer even hiding. So I'm going to share this ad. Oops, I don't want to. So this ad came out for Christmas from a kid store, which every year we get a lot of blasphemous messages, and they are forcing editors like myself to expose them. So first off, it starts with this eye, but there is a cross around. Can you notice the cross?
Yes.
That is the only cross you're going to see about Christmas.
Sorry, I can't. It's not on the main.
Thank you. Stephen, put it on the main screen, please. I shared it, but I didn't put it up.
It's up now. My bad.
Okay.
I thought I could feel it.
Thank you. So this is the first frame. And you can see a cross. Of course, you can see the all-seeing eye, which is a Masonic Illuminati symbolism. But wank, 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 wank. Do that one too. So I think that the reason they have this cross right here is to say, hey, look, okay, it is about Christmas, but there is no other cross. So because I don't know if it's copyrighted, I'm going to keep posing and translate the song for you, but I want you to notice something, guys, because although I just posed here on the first frame to show you this subliminal, this is not the real subliminal that is aiming to your children. Now, of course, you don't live in Greece, so you're not getting this ad, but you're getting a lot of other stuff, like the trees, the balls, and all that stuff that do not relate to Jesus. So, some text on the screen. I haven't made sure of the timing of the text, so there's somebody sitting on the moon, and the moon has this shape. And this is the exact shape that we get on the Baphomet statue. All right? So he's saying he will certainly come by from here. And it shows you all these children holding their cameras ready to take a picture of Santa Claus. I've changed the audio, but I hate it. I don't like it much. That was a ready-made filter. I have to tweak it. So he's singing and saying that all the children are waiting to take a picture of Santa Claus and blah, blah, blah. Everybody's waiting to say cheese, Santa Claus. Not so fast. I keep pausing so we don't get any copyright issues. So all the flashes start flashing. Somebody is gonna get a picture of him this year. This is the song, blah, 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 blah. All right. So this is no longer Christmas, guys. Its name is Santa's Fest. To take Christ out of his own birthday. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there already know what an anagram Santa is, but if you didn't, I'll show you right now. Posing just for that, and now you're gonna see something weird. The moon is gonna start spinning, and he's inside the moon, and just notice him. Alrighty. So, yeah, go right ahead and say it's an innocent celebration. There is nothing wrong. Wait, I'm getting lost in my tabs here. At least it's working and we didn't go off. Oh, hey, Gigi.
Hi, where did Steven go?
I don't know.
Was he raptured?
Was I left behind?
Oh no.
Now I'll do whatever I want with this ministry. I hope Dan got raptured too. All right, dirt bike videos every day.
Yeah, a lot of times I show them on my channel.
Yeah, well, if you do, make sure to jump in the videos and not go on and don't stick to the front page, because my front page is like a front. There's more valuable stuff, but there is no way to show anything on your channel. Somebody's gonna come in and start bad mouthing me and Steven, and you know.
Sorry.
I mean, I thought people had lives, but it looks like they don't. We are their life. So
I need to tell you something. Round tables in the comments.
hello, brother Lion. From what I understood from Gigi,
Yeah.
long time no see, brother. And hello, BBM. And there are other comments that I haven't been able to focus on. Anyway, let me try. I will in a bit. I just this show was about to get into the reasons. No, what is the greatest idol of all?
What
We
if
did- we did point to a big one last night, which was the self, and it can even pastors can find themselves guilty of it when they put their understanding of something of the Bible over the understanding of someone else. It is the evidence that is going to prove what is right, and the only evidence is the Word of God. There has to be at least 2 or 3 witnesses in the form of verses that verify a doctrine. You cannot just have a doctrine coming out of one phrase. So there are a lot of people who find themselves on one side and they're never listening to the other side. And that relates to love of the self. It relates to I'm the best. I have the best understanding and everybody else is wrong. So that is another tricky idol. But today's show was about another idol that we're all guilty of, every single person. And Jesus warned us against that specific idol. So I had planned a video to show, but in order for it not to be laggy, I had it being uploaded, but then something happened and I had to go outside. And when I came back in, the computer had frozen, which never happens on my computer. But Evmax tends to do that sometimes. So it happened to do it when I was uploading the video, and it was a 2 gigabyte video. It had already taken like 2 hours and it was at 90%. So I know that Satan doesn't want this, but I can go a cappella. I won't take a video. I won't need the video. I would play a video that would be 1 hour long. And it is, you can find it in Proverbs channel. For some weird reason, I know she's not in the chat right now, but as I was creating that small video from an already existing video, Robin kept popping in my mind. Like I somehow felt that I have to do this so she can watch it. I don't know why. It was some gut feeling. Maybe because on yesterday's show she was there and she said goodnight at the end and I didn't even see it. I saw it next day. So I don't know if that was it, but she kept popping in my head as I was watching that video. Anyway, this video is John MacArthur. I've taken 30 to 40 of his lectures and I've condensed them in 2 videos, which I've overlaid visuals from the Matrix. And these 2 parts you can find on Proverbs channel. Go to the search this channel and type in John MacArthur. Is M-A-C Arthur, not M.C. Arthur. He's not a rapper. It's M-A-C Arthur. So the first part is understanding the gospel, what it is, why we need it, who we are, and what do we do, what should we do. So I took that part together with the second part, and again, I chopped pieces off and created a smaller part of those 4 hours. Again, these are 40 lectures of 1 hour or 2 hours each, condensed into 4 hours with Matrix visuals overlaid over it. And I even condensed that even further to a 1 hour long message. I mean, seriously, you can't squeeze it to smaller than that. But I highly advise everybody, even haters of this channel, to please check that out, because it is your soul that we care for. And I have nothing to gain from you coming to the truth. I'm not asking you to pay me. I'm not asking you to meet me in heaven and say, hey, thanks. I have nothing to gain. So even for that, please check it out. So I would use him, this video, after we had a discussion about the number one idol of this world. And that is, I'm gonna need this. The world. The world itself. It is the greatest idol. We love it. It has so many things that are unrighteous, unbiblical. They go against God. They go against us. There are politicians that lie to us every single day, and we still love it. And there are so many places in the Bible that Jesus is telling us not to. Just from Googling this. 1 John 2:15. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Then continues to 2:16. For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and the pride of life is not from the Father, but they are from this world. In other places, another place, he says, behold, I have overcome the world. Paul says to Timothy that Demas has abandoned him for his love for the world. And we've made another show about this, called 1 Timothy 4, a warning. 1 John 5:19. We know that we are from God, and the whole world lies in the power of the evil one. The evil one who is earlier, now I don't know if it's earlier or later, referenced to as the prince of this world. I'm just scrolling down some verses. 1 John 2:17, which continues from the previous one we read, and the world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever. Although I don't have a panel to discuss this, nor do I have the video that I had already, which is a pastor, and I am not a pastor, but I did cut down all these parts to connect them into one coherent message, because one of those things, he said it in one video, then the other one, he said it in another lecture, then the other one on a third lecture. So I just cut those moments to start describing, according to the film The Matrix, how the whole thing arrives to the Matrix. It all starts from one lie that entered this world. The world was perfect. It was created perfect. And then iniquity was found in one angel. And that angel lied to those that were created in God's image and were given an order to dominate this world. Adam was the king. That king, through the assistance of Eve, delivered his crown to the liar, falling for his lie. So from that point on, you start seeing other stories that they all relate to a lie. You get Cain, you get Adam and Eve lying to God. You get Cain lying to God. Then you get Sarah lying to the angel. And you're still in the book of Genesis, and it's filled with stories about lies. So many thousand years later, this has exploded into a world of lies. Coincidentally, I have the subtitle under my name. I did it by accident like a week ago that says, Eat your world. Well, I'm disgusted. Like there is literally nothing that is true. What can I think of? I am a person that has been supporting WWF, not WWE, Gigi, WWF, for 10 years of my life until I discover a couple of things about them and, follow the money. Greenpeace too. Greta Thunberg is working for the companies that make the solar panels and the wind turbines. And there is not a single place where you can rest upon and say, oh, that's a good thing on this world. There are a couple still. Nature, what is undefiled yet, it's still soothing to our souls because that is created by God. And each other. If we didn't care, you see, there is this thing when we say the world, we mean the principalities of this world, what it makes idols of. Or I don't like that expression, but to succeed in this world, you have to be a jerk. You have to step over others. But if we didn't love the people, we wouldn't be on this channel. We would not be talking about the truth to wake up even our atheist friends. We don't hate atheists. We don't hate even the militant atheists, because every time I think, if somebody asks me, like, which one is the worst, if you ask me, like, which one disgusts me completely, I would say it was Claude. But if you ask me if I hate him, the first picture that comes in my mind is Paul. I'm pretty sure every Christian back in the day hated Paul. And look what happened to Paul and how he became half of our New Testament. So we are here because we love this part of the world, which is the people, because you are children of God. And so are we. And if we got saved, it's not because we are better than you. It's just that it happened earlier than you. And we are just trying to assist so it happens faster. Because we get this sense of a ticking clock. One of them is the end times. If people still don't see it, I don't know, they're looking in the wrong places. They should look outside their neighborhood. Also, this tomorrow could be your last day. There is no, I'll get saved in the future, because the minute you think that, God hears you, and you might not have a future. It is something that you have to understand today, and it is not something that relates to your mind. It is something that relates to your heart, because your heart, just like my heart, just like Dan's heart, are wicked. And we have a promise by God that he will take out our own hearts and replace them with his, with a living one. And that's why I go by this name, because I am no longer myself after what God did for me. He said, I will take out the heart of stone from your body, and I will replace it with a heart of flesh. And that means a living heart. And I will write my law in you. I will sprinkle you with water and cleanse you from all your sin. Until that happens, you are attached to this world, and you love parts of that world, which is not your place. This is not where you are meant to be.
Achilles.
Yes.
What if you want to go to a different world, like Mars?
I can't wait, but not to Mars, but to go to the world that God is promising us. But I don't rush it, because what's the point of making it there and having great souls getting lost if I could assist? So there's no rushing. But yeah, it's not the Earth I have a problem with. Mars, I bet, is gonna be worse.
Oh.
I mean, have you seen Matt Damon? Still up there. Have you seen him in any other movies recently?
No.
He's still digging for water up there.
What about Arnold? He had a hard time up there too.
Arnold was in the future, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it had so much crazy technology up there. So I would highly recommend people check that out. There are two parts. I want you to check the first one. It's gonna help you understand by the words of a certified pastor, and not by the words of Stephen that you guys have a problem with, or Achilles that you other guys have other problems with, or Dan or Ryan or everybody that you might have a problem with. We are not pastors. We're just people that got changed, and we are out there shouting it, just like the woman in the well that saw the Messiah. We are not those that are going to go back and forth and connect all the dots for you. So as he did it for me, I took all those parts and I related them to a film that you guys are acquainted with, as I was, The Matrix, because they know the truth. Satan knows the truth, and he's taking parts of the truth and putting them in movies. So after you watch part one, on part two, we get into what happens after you get saved. How from now on, you are no longer yourself, and what that means, and how the race is just beginning. And it is a race not with each other, but with yourself. You will stumble, you will fall, you will sin again, but you need to endure to the end. That is from the Bible. Colossians, I think it is. You see, a pastor can never say, I think it is, right? I get the right to say, I think it's somewhere there. I'm a rider, I'm a dirt bike rider. I'm not a certified pastor, but I'm also a video editor.
Oh, you
And
serious?
after I got saved, I dumped the dirt bikes and I started making videos. I think I've reached like 200 so far that relate to what this world is about, what happened to me, there's so much stuff that are in my videos. I can't tell you to go there because it is a long story, and where do you even start? Like, people have a very short attention span to show them a 1 hour long video, let alone 100 of them, you know?
Yeah.
And if you start the movie at its end, you're probably not going to understand that it's the butler that did it, you know, and why that matters. So, at the absence of another voice, because Stephen pulled a Stephen on me, he did tell me he could stay for an hour.
Okay.
But also at the absence of that video, I just want to point you guys to that one and save you from continuing on here. Please check it out, at least the first part, and do me a favor. If you get tired, just note the time that you got tired and resume tomorrow or next day at the same time. Just don't let go, because there is some coherence in what I do that relates, the beginning relates to the end. So if you watch only 60% of it, you might not get the message. If you start skimming, you will not get the message. It's like I'm creating movies. You cannot skip the intro of a movie. It might be everything, you know? So please do. It has nothing to do with me. We're not monetized. If you go watch that instead of watching here, even if we were monetized, it will be the same. It is the same view. It is one view, whether it is on a live stream or whether it's on a video. But we're not even monetized. But that video took me around 3 months to make. And for you, it's just 2 hours, the first part, and 2 hours, the second part, which you can watch in steps. Now, one more thing about it before I conclude this and go to the comments and check out what's happening over there. I want to say that on my channel, this is not an isolated video. The whole thing had to do with what happened to my life, and I knew that it was Satan behind it. He sent fire, forest fire, to my house. I battled with it for 3 days and 3 nights, being isolated in my area because it was under lockdown. And I had to fight the fire while at the same time hiding from the cops. So I timed their patrols, and I was going outside with bottles of water and putting the fire out of other people's houses. And the 4th night, I was forced to evacuate because we talked to the firefighters that were around and were saying we don't have any water to use. And we were asking them, those that were left behind, not left behind, sneaked back behind, because you couldn't be left behind. People, the police took down doors to kick people out of their houses. And then they didn't take out the fires and their houses burned. But if the people were there, that was a very slow fire. There was no wind. You could actually start speeding and keep going and take the whole thing out. But if you don't have anyone to use water, it is going to burn your house. So if they haven't, anyway, the thing is that there I showed what happened, and there I said, now I'm going to respond to Satan with the same method. The word of God is fire. So if there is one thing he doesn't want me to do, and that's why my whole life burned from that fire, I will respond with the gospel, and I will put it out there for people to watch. That is my response to him. Fight fire with fire. So in my channel, the video is called 2022, and part 1 is about the fire. Part 2 is John MacArthur part A. Part 3 is John MacArthur part B. And then part 3 is the epilogue, which brings all those together to a Big Bang moment. which is called transformation, a nation that has been transformed by the power of God, the new Israel. The reason I'm telling you this is because if you go to the Proverbs and watch the John MacArthur part only, there are going to be some references in that you might not understand, like where did that come from? Let it go. It's just part of the overall series. This was a 4-part video, but for the Proverbs, it is just John MacArthur and 2 parts video. So the first part is about understanding what it is that we're talking about. Please check it out. I know some of you, even atheists, know, understand, but maybe not in the entirety of what it is that is going on and why this world is not to be loved. Part 2 is about those that do get saved, and then we step into the other Neo of the Matrix, the Neo that now has the power, and it's not his power. So in the movie, it's showing us that he's like the one, the Messiah, but we're talking about you become the one by the Messiah in you. It's his power, and you can do anything he wants that is in his will. You do get sanctified and become a completely different person and way more powerful than what you were, until you say, oh, look what I did. That's when he's going to take it back, because he knows that you know it's not your power. It's the power of the Spirit in you. That's why, my brother Gigi, when people call names Dan, they call Dan names and they bad mouthing him, he's thanking them and he's saying, that's exactly what I am. I am that person that you're talking about. I am wretched. I am wicked. That's my title, because that's what we are. We're not better. We're not any special. So my throat hurts already. So let me check some comments, see what we have. Oof. All right. Dubia J, I'm not sure if you are RJ. I agree with all your comments, except the one, I can't say I completely disagree with what you said about Trump, because yes, God has used evil rulers in history because the nations deserve them. But yeah, I wouldn't have high hopes for Trump. I know for a fact that he's a counterfeit. Now, hello Dan, hello Gigi, hello BBM. He says hello Gigi, Achilles, whatever. I'm a little behind. All right, I'm trying to catch up. Hello Demolish. Funny. Never thought of that way. I'm a futuror. I'm not even a presenter. Oh, presenter, maybe. Maybe I can do that. Grady worked with my restaurant. Hello, Christian. Okay. Oh, phew. All the comments were between each other. That's good. I thought I had to, respond to 45 comments. Oof. All right. All right, people talking with each other. Okay, that's good. Oh, I wish I could make you some coffee, guys.
A great Achilles. What would you do if you fall into another dimension where you and the Wonder Woman lady are married and king and queen of Greece? What would you do?
First off, people would hate me because they would say he took a Jewish wife. You know, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'm a Christian and I'm a reborn Christian, which means I have high respect for the nation of God, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes to that specific woman, yeah, I'd have an issue saying no. Now, I don't know about a kingship, but I've told you backstage before, and I'm gonna say that again. Although I do think that she is the most beautiful woman on the earth right now. Like seriously, there is nothing compared to Gal. Like nothing. The reason I like her so much is because she reminds me of someone who is much closer to me than she is.
Uh-huh.
Closer to me distance wise. Because relationship wise, I think Gal is closer. And that is, she doesn't even know about me. Yeah, the other one just hates me.
Oh.
But she looks a lot like her. So I would have to say no to Gal and only say yes to a very specific woman out there.
What if it's that lady? You and her are married and your son is Aiden.
Yeah, that would be a terrible universe. I would ask for a rerun.
No, I mean your son is actually Claude.
Oh no, can I have Aiden again? Claude with the accent or without it?
Well,
I loved one day I was in Lupin's show with Stump. My brain lagged for a minute, and Christian came in with the name Claude Balls. So they told him to say something to see if it's actually Claude, and he took a minute, and then he's like, "Hello." So they heard that it's Christian, and they got him backstage, and then he typed in the chat ELER and 5 more R's at the end. Hello. And yeah, Christian, you crack me up sometimes.
yeah, he's funny. Oh, would you ever debate Claude?
Wait.
Oh.
Who?
The Claude?
No. He actually said today that I would never debate how because the world is round and it's not flat and blah, blah, blah. He didn't say that, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he just lost the opportunity, forcing me to say no. And I don't want to get into that subject. That's another idol. And it is an idol because check the math, dudes. Get a tiny little telescope and try to find a way to use it. Because I did that work. And don't be surprised if this lying world is lying to you on that one as well. But we have all these books that are telling us, yeah. Just take a pen, take a piece of paper, and do the math. And you see it doesn't add up. For example, everybody that is talking about the moon and the sun and the system, they don't even know the distances. They don't know the numbers. They don't know what an astronomical unit stands for. They don't know what the lunar distance is, how those two relate. They don't know the distance to Jupiter. Once they put those math down, they'll see that Earth is pretty badass. we have a very, very, very strong gravity to hold that body when it's getting so far away from the earth. And then when it gets in front of the sun, it casts a shadow on us. Like, there's some very weird things that are happening. And we can go and have like hours of discussion about this. But it bores me. And it bores me because people still think they come from apes. And I'm going to tell them that Jesuit priests are lying to them about what's up there and what's down here.
Do you think Mark is a Jesuit priest?
No, he's not a Jesuit priest.
Oh,
I do think that this biblical concept of hating the world, not loving the world, completely destroys preterism. Because for preterism to stand, you have to say that we are in the millennial kingdom. And it's our fault that it's getting as bad as it is, which is completely unbiblical. And come on, Mark. I mean, get out of that false doctrine. But I shouldn't be going random, because I don't even know what else is gonna come out of my mouth. So I think I should end here the show and tell people to go watch that video to understand. Even if they are Christians, I hope they enjoy the editing and how that relates to the Matrix. I hope they like the work of a brother. But if you're not a believer yet, the video is called Understanding the Gospel. And the second part is called World Record. It's called World Record because it is a race. And we're not supposed to race that race like we don't care. We should race that race like we want to go for the world record. So for that part, not only am I using Matrix visuals, I am also using Animatrix visuals, which is a series of anime made on the Matrix, about the Matrix, and one of them is called World Record. So I took its title and attached it to the video. And I'm also using Forrest Gump. Yeah, because I'm weird like that.
Oh, Brother Pike said he wanted to join.
I'm gonna end it. And Christian, come on, man. I mean, I feel like you've spent so much energy bad mouthing that I just can't take it right now and either pretend that everything is fine or start responding to who Stephen was before he got saved, or what happened with Ryan, or why Dan is like that. I mean, I can't do this right now. If there was somebody else that had the vibe to do it, for me it's 3 a.m., 3:30, 3:13, and I just can't. I want to end the show. And if you guys picked something up, should be to go and watch that video.
Okay.
Well, that's what my contribution is.
What was the video again? I will say about like a sheriff.
You go to to Proverbs Guys channel and go to the search this channel and type in John MacArthur or Understanding the Gospel. It's gonna give you, but if you punch in John MacArthur, it's gonna give you two parts. The first one is called Understanding the Gospel, and you'll have the second one too. If you only type in Understanding the Gospel, it's not gonna show you the other one, which is called World Record. Take whatever route you want, but guys, at least the first part, do yourself a favor. Beat that ADD or ADHD or whatever it is that is not allowing you to focus. There's nothing more important than focusing on the right things. We are in school. We're gonna give exams. Please don't fail the exams. We want to thank you for being around. Gigi, thank you for always being here and for your love and respect.
Oh,
I love you, brother.
I love you. You're welcome.
I didn't type on my subtitle Gigi rocks, but you know I believe that. But I didn't do it because I want this one for now. Eat your world.
Okay.
Those that love it and they are defending it. This world is telling me, the scientists are telling me this, and yeah. Keep defending them. Eat them. Take them to bed. I'm out of here. I don't know when, but I'll jump on the ship when I see it, right? I'll be like, just don't leave me behind. You know, it sucks. Everything sucks. Relationship sucks. I'm not saying that there aren't good people out there to get married, and I hope that you found it. You found him or her. But right now, the situation, I don't see a lot of women not caring for money. I don't see a lot of men actually caring for a family. I see all the ideals have turned around in a way that it sucks. It's just, and my experience is that I found that person, and the moment I found her, every friend that I had started backstabbing me concerning that situation. It wasn't the girl, it was every friend I called to help me get that girl. So there are so many levels of pride, ego, jealousy. Like, I know how to get any woman, right? I'll tell you the key right now. Hit on her best friend. And I know there are girls out there, like our beloved friend Maud, who will just thought to herself, he is right. Envy is gonna get you that girl. If you hit on her friend, she will hit on you. So that's not the world I want. There's another method too, money. But I'm just hitting the first one, the big one. If you like a girl and you just met her, next time you talk to her 5 minutes later, tell her, what was your name again? Like, pretend like you didn't pay attention to what her name was. That will get her attention. And then start hitting on her friend. She will be all over you. But that's not the way I want to flirt. That's why I could approach that woman that I mentioned that way. Her friend actually liked me a lot. I knew I could hurt her, but I don't want your jealousy. I don't want to attract your jealousy. So anyway, this is just on relationships. We can go on about anything. We can go on about politics. We can go on about this fake religion that exists. We can go on about the false hopes that we're going to save this planet. False hopes of Elon Musk taking me to Mars. Sports and how fake they are. Where do you touch it? Where? I'm a racer. I saw the sports industry. I saw what happens if you don't go with the gang. There is a gang in every sport, even in the Olympics, mind you. I had a friend who was the Greece's heavyweight champion on boxing for 10 consecutive years. Heavyweight boxing, not kickboxing, boxing. And when he was going to the Olympics in Greece, he told me, I'm going to lose on the first round with 4 points. I said, how do you know that? Are you a prophet? It's like, well, no. I've had a little fight with the Confederation. and I keep losing every match with 4 points because 4 is the gate, the number of the gate of the Confederation.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, no way it's gonna happen. And I go and see him live, and he loses with 4 points. And the TV was saying that we can count the points, but the referees are not counting the points. So I don't even know where to start. This whole world is going to go to waste. Just disconnect from it, guys. Like, you know, there's the eject button, and you're like, I'll go down with the plane. And you have the button right there. Just eject, mayday. That's where we are right now. It's like going down, and people are like, well, what if I vote for that one? Oh. I mean, did you see RFK, how he turned to McDonald's? For God's sake, McDonald's? The one that was saying, we're going to make America healthy again. Hey, yeah, let's eat some McDonald's for now on the first day of being elected. But we'll get healthier later if you re-elect us. I mean, come on, guys. So thank you